Good, YouTube? Quinn Wade basketball analysis here, coming to y'all with a quick video. Today we're going to talk about Kenneth Faried and Darrell Arthur getting traded from Denver to the Nets. This is a this is a play for both teams. The Nets are just going to absorb it. They got enough salary cap to absorb Kenneth Faried and Darrell Arthur contracts, and they also will get a 2019 first round pick and a future second round pick in exchange for Isaiah Whitehead. As you guys must know already, this is just a salary dump for the Denver Nuggets so they can dodge the luxury tax. They wasn't really using Darrell Arthur anyway or Kenneth Faried, and to get them off the books and allow them to basically be under the luxury tax so they don't have to pay to keep the team intact, and then they get rid of two players that they're not really even using. Kenneth Faried career high was only 13 points a game in a 13-14 season. He had the last season that he played was last year. He only got 14.4 minutes and only averaged 6 points a game and 4.8 rebounds. Giving up the picks is just something to really help the Nets, because they actually do need the picks. They're trying to find the next superstar in the draft. So getting a first round pick is very good, considering that you can draft a guy that you like, or you can draft a guy that might be a risk or an unfinished product, or just have potential in that 19 to 25 range that Denver most likely gonna be in. It's still some quality players in that area, especially in the 2019 draft. So at the end of the day, you take back two contracts that you're going to waive and release these players anyway, and you get two potential chances at trying to find a guy through the draft, or even this team has a lot of young talent now, the Brooklyn Nets, and if you able to package some of these young players together, or even just use them in the future, whether it's these picks turning out to become players, or even just using the players you already have on the roster that you're trying out. You still have picks to move them. We've seen Danny Ainge do a lot of this. Try to accumulate as many picks as you can to try to get higher in the draft, or even just have a pick just to see if you can get a guy that can potentially become a superstar. The Nets are deprived of having a superstar, and at the end of the day, they need more chances, and the best way to get more chances is to have more draft picks. And even though you get a lot of draft picks, don't mean you're gonna get one. You still gotta scout right, you still gotta develop right, and you still gotta put them in the right situation with the right coaches that know how to utilize them and to bring out the best of them, but also work forward to their strengths and try to pan out their weaknesses as much as you can. Obviously, the player gotta want to be great. They gotta want to put the work in. You really don't know anything about that until you actually get the player inside the facility and on the roster. You can really evaluate the talent then when they're playing, how their demeanor is, how good and how much they want it. Those things you have to see for yourself, and you don't really know that until they're actually on your team most of the time, or you give a lot of workouts. And the Nets are a team that's going to pretty much be bad. And at the end of the day, that's a good thing. If they're trying to get back into relevancy, they either going to have to continue to keep their flexibility with max contract slots, or realistically, they're just going to have to draft the next superstar, which they have a lot of picks now. They went from not having really any picks to now they're using their cap space to take bad contracts and to take people like DeMarre Carroll, taking chances on players like Jahlil Okafor and D'Angelo Russell, but they also took on that Miles Goff contract to get D'Angelo Russell and still got a pick out of that trade. So they're accumulating talent. They're trying out new players. They're trying out young players that can still develop into a star, while also getting draft picks to draft a star. And on top of that, when you have cap space like this, and you can just waive Darrell Arthur and Kenneth Faried, that opens up more money for you to be able to still be flexible enough in free agency to sign a big name free agent if they want to come and play for Brooklyn, which is a big market, has a good owner that's willing to spend money on a team to be successful. Yes, he said he's going to take a step back, but we all know if he gets another superstar, he's going to try to go all in and win that championship. But I wouldn't really blame him, but that's the number one thing to them: either draft or be able to acquire a superstar that you can build around and get other players to come play and want to play in Brooklyn. And at the end of the day, that's what you want. If you cannot get one, as far as Kenneth Faried, he is 28. Next season, he will be 29 in November 19th. It's some teams that he can potentially go to. He still can rebound at a great level. He still can score around the basket. He can be a pick and roll and dive guy. He's not a good mid-range shooter. He's not a three-point shooter. He's not a spacer. Kind of remind me of Trevor Booker, a guy that's going to play hard, a guy that's going to do the dirty work, and a guy that, can give you a little spurt in minutes. And if you put him in the right lineup with the right amount of floor space, and he can be still effective. Will he dominate? No. Will he be great? No. Is he going to be a floor spacer? You never know. But it is some teams that can really utilize his talent and get the best out of him. Now, Denver, they just got fatigued. They've been trying to trade him for years, and now he can finally pick and choose where he wants to go this free agency, since he's going to get bought out. And at the end of the day, you rather it end like this than sit the bench and not be able to play and not be able to enjoy the game of basketball, but be frustrated because you're not going to get minutes. As for Darrell Arthur, he hasn't really got any minutes for the last couple seasons. The last season he got quality minutes with 15 and 16 when he had 21 minutes and he was able to shoot 38% from three. He is 30 years old. He will be 31 by the end of the next season. He's a guy that has really been a disappointment, but he also has been able to stay in the league for multiple years and still give quality play. Obviously, this guy is basically a bench warmer. He can be a three. He can play the four. He can space out the floor enough. He's not going to be a marksman. He's not going to be this elite three-point shooter that you think he will be. He doesn't even attempt that many, even with the mid-range jumpers and getting to the basket. He's just solid at a lot of areas. This guy, I can see possibly being your 10th or 12th 10th through 12th best player on your team. A guy that, if he's on the roster, he most likely won't get any minutes, but if he does, it's going to be 10 to 15 minutes, maybe playing in garbage time, maybe playing a couple games depending on what team he goes to. That would definitely show how many minutes he would definitely get. But I definitely say this is a good pickup for the Nets to be able to get two more picks for basically nothing, because you're going to weigh both players, and having that salary cap has really allowed them to continue to have that flexibility. It's amazing that this team went from the dumbest trade in NBA history, the biggest heist in NBA history, to now they're doing good. They finally got their draft pick, their original draft pick from that trade. Now they get their draft pick every year, and now they have even more draft picks every year. And this team is very talented. People respected the Nets these last couple years. They've been able to compete. They've been able to make games difficult. Even though they was 28 and 54, you look at this roster. Ed Davis is a guy that's still developing. He's 29. He's a solid pickup for them. Spencer Dinwiddie has outplayed his contract. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, I see him in Summer League. He has potential to be good. You have Karis LeVert. He's 23. He's getting more minutes. He's getting more playing time. He's getting more confident. We still haven't seen enough of Jahlil Okafor, but he hasn't warranted a max contract. So even if they do decide to keep him, he's still a solid NBA player. D'Angelo Russell, of course, is still 22. He can play, and he showed that he can be a scorer and a facilitator, but he also can play off the ball and be a dynamic or combo point guard like we thought he would be. We're going to see what they're going to do with him. Jared Allen, I seen him at Summer League. He's long, he's lanky. He can potentially be a stretch 5 or a stretch 4, and he can be a solid rim protector. He still needs to bulk that body up with muscle, not with fat. And get bigger and stronger. Allen Crabbe was a guy that they took on just to get more draft picks. So at the end of the day, this team went from being robbed and heist to now they have a litany and a luxury of a bunch of draft picks, and that brings in more youth, and that's a good thing. The NBA is getting younger. They even thinking about taking off the one and done, and they get even more younger. but you still want to have the opportunity to get talent, and you want the opportunity to draft talent, and they've been getting the best of both worlds. So I like this pickup for the Brooklyn Nets. I think they're going in the right direction. They still have to find what they're trying to do. They still have to find that player that can really start that movement and going back towards being a contender or even just a playoff team, and then go from there. It's going to be a hard process, but they have the cap space. They have the picks. They have some solid young players on this roster, and maybe they can pick up somebody in the future. Maybe not this year. It seems like all the superstars are going this year, but maybe 19, 20, 21, they get that star or that superstar. And I think it's going to come because the NBA is getting loaded, and somebody going to eventually develop, somebody eventually going to want to get traded, and that will open up a spot for Brooklyn. Remember, we got a lot of people in OKC, Houston, San Antonio. So eventually a star will become available, and they will be back on that track to getting back to the playoffs like they just was with Darren Williams, Brook Lopez, and Joe Johnson, which they was able to get 3 All-Stars on that roster. So check out my website. And I'll check out my Facebook page and my website, analysisplayground.com. The t-shirts is on my Facebook page if you want to check them out. This is another one. Like on Facebook to show support, analysisplayground.com. Link will be in the description in the comment section below. And if you like the video, hit the like button. Coin Wave Basketball Analysis, I'm gone. And if you're at Summer League, you can meet me at Summer League because I will be there for the rest of the week. I'll be gone on the 18th. So if you see me, say hey, say hi, and I'm gone. Let me know what you guys think about Kenneth Faried finally getting the freedom of leaving Denver, a team that didn't want him and trying to get rid of him for the last 3 years. He's finally free. He's finally gone, and he finally can go pick the team he wants to and try to get back on the court and make some meaningful minutes and get a team that actually wants him and can utilize him to the best strength. And that's something that he has the opportunity to do now and being a free agent.